I heard a phrase over social media and it said, depression can't hit a moving target. And I kind of just wanted to discuss this phrase and tell you why I kind of agree with it. So, I'm going to bring you back to 2024, winter of 2024. It was a very cold winter. I was working in construction. I remember busting my ass the first couple months, and it hit around this time. And right around January, February, if you work in the trades, if you work in any kind of service industry, business slows down. It happens every year. With the holidays and the new year, people are buying gifts, presents. Some newer guys, older guys get laid off. And unfortunately, I was one of the newer guys that got laid off. It typically happens to people who get laid off or they get unemployed for a certain amount of time, like over 3 months, I would say. You start having self-worth issues like, wow, I wasn't good enough to be a good employee or to keep a paycheck, keep a steady income for my family, and that's what eventually happened to me. I'm a younger male. I consider myself a hard worker, and pretty much anything that I do, I pride myself in that. And when I kind of got into that rut, depression hit me. I'm not gonna lie. I suffered pretty early amount of depression for, I'm gonna say, 3 to 4 months when I didn't have a job, and I knew in that time that I was okay. It was the first time that something like this has ever happened to me. And when you have experiences like that, you learn. But in the moment, you're just very scared. You don't know what's going to happen. And essentially, you start having these issues, these mental issues, and that's what happened to me. I started having extreme anxiety. When I eventually did come back to the job, I found it very hard to interact with people, talk with people, because what I ended up doing was self-medicating with games, social media, TV, and I kind of became like a hermit a little bit. And it's because I didn't keep my body and brain moving. I truly believe if you're a person, you keep yourself so busy that you really just can't think about other issues that's going on. Stay in this continuous working phase, and there's nothing wrong with taking little breaks. I'm not saying you can't take little breaks, but when you're in a prolonged state of not doing anything, you know, you're not going to the gym anymore, you're slowing down, you're not working, you're staying home a lot more, it's cold out, the weather absolutely affects your mood, you get into a rut, and that's what happened to me. Depression hit me because I just stayed stagnant. I started bed rotting. I'm not gonna lie. I was in my bed 10 hours a day, wake up, take a shower, play video games all day, and then I'd be up all night and wondering why, man, why do I feel like shit? Because I stopped moving. I didn't adopt any hobbies. Like, I didn't try to say, okay, let me use this time to improve my fitness, improve my mental goals, maybe start reading or writing or do anything to escape what was going on. I just stayed in the same spot. But 2 years later, I find myself without a job. If any of you guys are following the channel at all, I know the channel is relatively small right now, but I haven't had a job for like 3 or 4 months. So I knew if I did it again and I didn't learn my lesson, I was going to be in that same rut and same mindset that I was 2 years ago. And you learn from experiences like that. So what did I do? Started hitting the gym. Lost about 12 pounds since October. I actually have a little journal in my car. I write like my daily weight and also just how I'm feeling in general. It helps to write your thoughts down, and that's what I didn't do a couple years ago. And it helps me in a sense, like, I know where I'm at mentally. I know where my mental game is at for the day. If I'm not really feeling 100%, I write it down. And then I kind of see why I'm not feeling a certain way. If maybe, week 1 to 2 I wasn't getting enough sleep. Maybe week 3 I tighten up the sleep schedule. I'm feeling better. And then week 4 I'm prime. I'm ready to go. And that's what happened this month. Week 1 of February I wasn't sleeping that well, which then week 2 I wasn't hitting the gym as well. I wasn't getting in there as much. Week 3 I tightened it up, and I've hit the gym every day this week. And that's all in that same mindset of staying moving. You're like Rocky Balboa. You're not staying stagnant. You're doing stuff Yes, I'm still looking for a job. Yes, I'm still looking for employment. I'm looking at school. I'm looking at trade school. I'm looking at a whole bunch of other things, but I'm not just staying at home. Right? I'm not just doing this, and there's nothing wrong with playing video games. There's nothing wrong with scrolling, but at the same time, you cannot do that every single day. Because I truly believe in some messed up way that those algorithms on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever, are really designed to cater to how you're feeling. So if you're liking all this sad stuff and you're reposting it, Instagram's going to be like, okay, I'm going to push this. And it's going to keep pushing unbearable content on you, and you're just going to dog yourself for no reason, I promise you, because it happened to me a couple years ago. As a person who never hit the gym, had any fitness goals, I would highly recommend it now. Ever since October, my mindset, my self esteem, my self confidence, and just my health overall has greatly improved. Since the summer, even when I was working a job I really didn't like, the June me compared to the February me, just mentally, is much better. Would also highly recommend writing your thoughts down, jotting down some of your little goals that you can do, and they don't have to be enormous. Just little goals for yourself, daily, weekly, monthly, depending on how much of a rut you're going to be in. If you got laid off, if you quit your job like me, just do little shit to keep your brain occupied, because our human brain is so complex and comprehensive that we as humans, we a body in motion stays in motion. You got to keep moving around. That is my biggest advice, especially for younger people. Just do random side quest shit. Call a buddy, call a friend, be like, yo, you want to just go hang out? You want to go get something to eat? Just get yourself out of the house, and I promise you, you will feel better.